Hi, my name is Elkerton-Boudreau. I'm 46 years old, semi-retired, and I love to cook. Why do I love to cook? Probably because it was a passion of my mom's. She was very good, and it's old school, very traditional, but today I'm going to make a chicken dish that I learned how to make after a very serious accident that caused me to be incapacitated. So I needed to learn how to make food that not just tasted good, but was very simple to make, quick to make, and most of all easy to clean up, especially when you're raising 3 boys. So first thing, you wash your hands, like with anything when you're dealing with food. And the second thing is, this is for 3 pieces of chicken breast. I've already pre-made stuffing, chicken stuffing with some of my special spices, and it's been sitting. Then you take some butter or margarine and you lightly grease just the bottom of all 3 pieces of tin foil. That way the chicken won't stick to the bottom as it's cooking. Make sure it's just a light coating. You can use olive oil or vegetable oil too. And just big enough, because you don't want it greasy. That's one thing. If you want to keep your weight, you don't want it too greasy. I prefer the taste of butter, but now you can buy margarine that's got a flavor of butter. Next, you place your chicken breast. Next, you place your chicken breast in the center of where the butter is. As you can see, I've laid out all of my ingredients, pre-measured. Sometimes I don't measure, I'm a bad girl that way, but I do it to taste. Okay, so you put your chicken breast, and I've got my, this here is just garlic oil. So you take some, and you just put a little bit on each piece of chicken. And then you smush it around. Again, without the chunks of garlic, you don't get that big bite of garlic in your mouth. Next, I've got some pre-made spices here, salt and pepper, a bit of oregano, a bit of sage, and a couple of my special ingredients. So you just lightly sprinkle that on top. Again, it's usually to taste. Some people like a little bit more pepper, some people like a little bit more sage, but you don't want it to overpower the flavor of everything else that you're going to put on. Okay, so that being done, again, the kids, when they were young, they didn't like a lot of spice. Now that they're older, some of them being chefs themselves. Okay, then I've pre-made some special sauce. Now you can use ranch dressing, you can use Caesar salad dressing. I have used a combination of sour cream, mayonnaise, oregano, Parmesan cheese. So you put some of that on each piece of chicken. Now the chicken should be about the same size. As you can see, there's a couple here that are larger than the one little piece, and it will cook faster. The oven's preheated at 375. Spread that around. Using a vegetable of your choice. Husband likes corn. I like broccoli. So of course corn goes on 1. Broccoli is going to go on 2, because it's my favorite. And of course when you're the chef, you need the reward when you're done. Okay, so broccoli goes in. This is just frozen. You can use fresh, but I suggest that you pre-cook it a little bit. Next, you put some cheese, cheddar cheese. You can use a combination of cheddar and mozzarella, just to make sure it sticks. Now the reasoning for the tin foil is so that hopefully you don't have to do dishes other than maybe your fork and knife. And again, you can cure that problem by using plastic if you wish, I guess. Okay, so here's the cheese, and then you put on your stuffing. Now the stuffing, use your hands to ball it so that it kind of keeps everything together. And we're almost done. So preparation time was about 8 minutes because I timed it. Putting all of this together is probably 5 minutes. Cooking time, depending on the size of your chicken, but usually about 30 minutes. Okay, so there we go with the stuffing, and it's about ready to go in the oven. So now, you tent it. Sorry, I have to rinse my hands here first. More paper towel. That's one thing I do go through a lot of is paper towel. Oh, I almost forgot my Parmesan cheese just on the top. Again, a lot of that is flavor. Some people don't like Parmesan. And then you tent it together because you don't want everything sticking, but you want it well sealed. The biggest thing with chicken breast is you don't want it overcooked because it will dry out. And then you set it in a pan, like a baking dish or a cookie sheet like this. And you cook for 30 to 40 minutes. And that's it for now. I'll be back when it's done. Okay, so we're back. Just took it out of the oven and I've already opened up one here. As you can see, the pan is reasonably clean, so it's not a big mess. And we'll open this. Be careful about the steam. And look at that. There we go. All in one little package, although it's on a plate. You can eat it right out of the foil. Eat it, and there we've got the cheese. It's all nice and melted. And there's a meal all in one. So 8 minutes to prepare at the most. As far as preparation time, putting it all together, another 4 or 5 minutes. And then in the oven, 30 to 40 minutes, depending on your chicken breast. And that's it. So that's my cooking. That's as simple as it gets and as clean as it gets. Talk to you soon. Hi, it's Angela and I'm back. And I guess my level of cooking ability, I would put at intermediate, although if I wanted to be conceited, I'd say I'm excellent. I have almost prepared my signature dish, which we call these individual MF meatloaf, and I won't say what the MF is on television, and Angelina pies, which my children actually named that, so I'll go into that in a few minutes. I have cooked for as few as 1 and as many as 50 people over the years. The reason I want to be in this competition is to prove to myself that I can do it, and also prove to my family and my friends that although I went through a really rough time and I'm not who I used to be, I still have skill, I still have ability, and I also need to gain some self-confidence. So what I'm making here in this dish is, I'm not going to tell you all the ingredients, but I prepared ground beef. You can add ground pork or ground lamb, even ground chicken, onions, my signature barbecue sauce, oatmeal, personal spices, an egg. And over here is the base of my Angelina pies, which is mashed potatoes with an egg, my spices, garlic, and some caramelized onions. I'm also making some carrots that have caramelized onions that have been caramelized in bacon fat, by the way, and also a bit of tarragon, and I'm going to be tossing it in a brown sugar butter sauce. So for now I'm going to pause until I get things prepared to put together. This dish takes a little longer than my last one. However, I've got all my ingredients out, as you can see. I try to be organized, and a really key that I've always taught my kids is you got to clean as you go. You don't want to leave a mess for yourself or for anybody else in the kitchen. And cleanliness is really important when it comes to cooking. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back and I've got 3 of my individual MF meatloaves ready. So I thought I would show you how to prepare the very last one. First, you can use bacon or you can choose to not. You have to make sure that you mix your ingredients very well to form a seal. And the reason that is because you're stuffing this with ham and cheese. Now I'm using cheddar and Black Forest ham, but I've often mixed it with mozzarella and cheddar. You put it on the inside and then you seal it. And it's really important that you seal it. I don't guarantee that it won't leak because often it does leak. But not to worry, because a lot of it does get trapped inside. So you can just mush it around. And the reason that we call these individual MF meatloaves is so that everybody gets their own. And the cheese and ham don't leak out onto a platter. The reason I use oatmeal is because it absorbs a lot of the fat and they're not dry. That's the key, is that you do not want dry, yucky meatloaf. Nobody likes meatloaf, but mine's become pretty popular. Okay, so now you take your barbecue sauce, whether you make your own like I do, or you buy it in a bottle. and you lightly brush it all over the top, coating it really well to seal it in. Your oven's preheated at 375. Set that aside. Then you sprinkle, this is a mixture of a bit of Italian seasoning, Parmesan cheese, and parsley. You sprinkle a little bit on. You wrap it with the bacon. You sprinkle a little bit more on the top. And then you just brush the ends of the bacon with your barbecue sauce. And as a variation, if you look over here, I've made little meatballs. So they're a smaller bite-sized version that you can take and put a piece of your Black Forest ham, a little piece of your cheese, and a little piece of bacon on the inside. And again, important to seal it tight. Roll it around, make sure everything's on the inside. Really important with your onions to make them minced or very finely chopped. If you have children that don't like onions, puree it in a food processor or in a blender. That way the flavor's there, but you can hide them. You coat those and you sprinkle the rest of your Parmesan all over, and that's it for the meatballs, or the meatballs and the meatloaf. So they're going to go into the oven for about 30 minutes to make sure that they're cooked through, and I'll be back with the rest of my Angelina pies. Okay, so I'm back with the Angelina pies. I've got 5 of them done. I'll do a 6th one here, and again you can alternate. I know how to speak too. You can make individual little potato balls as well, which I'll show a variation of that. So I put a bit of breadcrumbs that's got Parmesan cheese, Italian seasoning, and a bit of parsley just on the bottom, so that when you go to lift them off the pan, that they come off smoothly and evenly. And you take a scoopful, about a handful. That's a good serving. Wash your hands, sorry. Need to handle utensils here. Okay. Then you mold it a little bit with a fork. It'll leave a nice edge. Sorry, excuse me, I need a paper towel so I don't get water everywhere. Okay. So you mold it, and as you're molding it around with the fork, you stick your clean finger in the middle and create a crater. And in that crater, you're going to put bacon bits. The caramelized onion is already in there, and then you place your cheese. Now these potatoes are already cooked, so when you put them in the oven, I highly recommend about 10 to 15 minutes prior to the meat being ready. Okay, and then you sprinkle on the top with some Parmesan cheese and a bit of Italian seasoning, and they're ready to go in the oven. Now for the alteration, again, you just ball it up, put your cheese and your bacon bits, and you roll this in some breadcrumbs, and you place it, there's some finished product there. Have a look with the potato balls. And they are ready again just to warm up, and they're a great appetizer for any party. And that's it. The next time I see you, everything will be coming out of the oven and be beautifully cooked and ready to eat. Bye-bye for now. Okay, so we're back. Everything's done. We got our Angelina pies. We've got my individual MF meatloaf. And we've got my special sauce carrots. And we're ready to eat. So, thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you hopefully in the future. Make it a great day.